Hi, this is Vicki from Learning Home Volunteers, and welcome to this learning session on the holiday season. After conversations with our families, we are going to share some of the traditions of the Christmas holiday season. In our session, we're going to help you decorate your house, fill it with delightful smells, write a card to a loved one, make and wrap a present, play some games, and even have enough activities left to help us celebrate New Year's Eve. We're going to split the videos into two. The first one will be all of the Christmas activities, and the second will be about Christmas or New Year's Eve activities. While you're enjoying time with your family, Learning Home Volunteers will be actually raising money to allow us to enroll more children in the program. Our donors love to hear about the changes that the program has made with your child and in your home. So if you're interested, we would love to record your message to future donors to let them know how their money that they donated makes a difference in your life. If you're interested, please contact Fernando or Camilla and we can arrange a session to have you interviewed on film. We have 4 books this learning session. Our first book is about the adorable puppy Spot. Spot is getting ready for Christmas and is doing many of the things that we are doing to prepare. Our next book by Anna Dunley is a Llama Llama book. Everywhere Llama goes, he hears bells. And there is so much to do during Christmas time that we'll get to share with Llama Llama. Our next book is one of my favorite series about a cat named Mog. Things are getting strange at Mog's house. Strange smells, everyone's busy, and has no time to play. The whole thing, well, frankly, is just a little bit scary. Can you guess what's happening at Mog's house? Finally, P Bear has decided to have a party to celebrate the new year. And each hour that goes by, a new set of guests arrive. Can you name and count all of them that come? Sounds really fun. Our first activity, number 1, is paper chains, and they are so much fun and super easy to make. To start, you take with one of the strips of paper and glue the ends together. And on the second and subsequent pieces, you slip the next piece of paper through the circle of the previous one and then glue it in place. You can alternate the colors or use different kinds of paper. You can even make a snake by attaching a head and a tail. Or you can count down the days to a birthday or Christmas, a vacation, or the beginning of school by adding numbers to the pieces of paper. You could decorate a tree with paper chains, or make a very tall snowman by attaching a paper chain to the snowman. And if you want to try this, we've actually included a snowman in your box. I've even seen them used as a paper curtain or a backdrop for photography. Paper chains are just great. I hope you like making them. This is activity number 2, holiday cards. There's nothing better than receiving a card during the holiday from someone that you love. You get a little love sealed with a stamp. Children love making cards, and we've included in your box some beautiful paper, stickers, and some things that might be beautifully glued to the card. The most important thing about this activity is all the work that the hands are going to do when we hope maybe some writing. You can see in this first example that the child is working on making letters, but the message isn't clear. Sometimes it might just be marks on a paper. Don't hesitate to ask your child what's being said and pencil on the back of the card what the message was that was intended for the receiver. You can also make cards from things that are found in nature, and this one is using juniper twigs and some beads glued onto a piece of paper. This big card is actually made with circle stickers in the shape of a snowflake. And this one is made by dipping a thumb in the paint and making a circle like a wreath. And this one is done by cutting a tree out and then decorating it with stickers. And this one is done by making a stamp out of a potato by cutting the end off and then dipping the potato in the white paint and making a snowman. We hope that you will share your child's card creations. We certainly are going to make some here as well. This is activity number 3. It's wonderful to immortalize the holiday season with something that will appear in your home each holiday cycle that you go through. And we have 2 shapes to work with to make an ornament, and different types of materials to go with it. We provided 2 cardboard stars and 2 cardboard circles for your child to create with. For the materials, we provided paint, yarn, glitter glue, tissue paper, pom poms, sparkly items, and even some ribbons so that you could hang them on the window or on your tree. In this first picture, we see a round circle with tissue circles being glued to the ornament itself. But they could have just as easily been a finger that's been dipped in paint to make the dots. The second one takes string and wraps it around the stars and glues down the ends. Very festive. This next one is done with markers, crayons, and colored pencils. I love the idea of putting beads on the string to make it more fancy. This next one is just found twigs that this child found glued together and then painted, and it's making the perfect ornament. And this last one, they put glue on the star and then dip it into either glitter or spices or dirt or leaves or little paper dots or whatever sticks to the star. I have some that were dipped in cinnamon and sand from the playground and crushed fall leaves that my children made for me. They're all still very beautiful and I treasure them. Please post pictures. We would love to see what your child is creating. This is activity number 4, Clove Oranges. Most original decorations for the holiday were made from natural materials, and many of them were fragrant. Wreaths made from pine branches, and these pomme d'ombre is a fancy terms for orange decorated with cloves, and it will make your house smell wonderful. They could be hung or just simply part of another decoration. The clove orange will stay fresh for a week or so after you put the cloves in. Um, and then in your box, you're going to find an orange, a toothpick, and a bag of cloves. The cloves are edible, and if you chew on them, they'll make your tongue numb. Kind of weird, huh? But to help the little ones get the cloves in the oranges, you can use a toothpick to make holes. I think you can kind of see them on those pictures. Someone's made holes with them. And then you can put the cloves, have them put the cloves in those holes in the orange. If you wrap a ribbon around the orange, you can actually hang it. Kind of cool, huh? This is activity number 5, a wreath. Advent wreaths were used as early as the 1500s. They used to have a candle for each Sunday before Christmas, but now they're used to celebrate harvest or other holidays, or used to celebrate someone or honor the day. In your box, you're going to find a paper plate, actually probably more than one, and you can decorate it with torn green paper or use the tissue paper that's there. We've included some red as well in case you feel like you need to add a little accent of color, and some yarn or ribbon to make a bow or to hang up your wreath. Traditionally, it would have been put on the table with a candle inside the wreath, but more recently, they're hung on the house door to welcome the coming holiday. Our next activity, activity number 6, is a picture frame. And after seeing all the pictures that you guys posted, we thought maybe your child might want to make a present of a picture frame to hold those lovely images. And in your box, we've included 2 paper picture frames. We chose paper over wood because you can draw, write, paint, or glue on it easily. Wood just doesn't hold those things and it won't last. So we've included 2 in case your child wants to make a present for more than one person. or maybe some lucky person is getting two. In the bag with the picture frame, you'll find a set of materials that will adhere to the picture frame and will be allowed it to be customized in the style of the recipient. Oh, and by the way, Walgreens can take an uploaded image from your phone and print them in 4 by 6, which is what the size of the frame is. And I'm sure the lucky recipient of the picture frame will love the additional decorations put in place. And the cost for printing one of those is like 13 cents. So definitely it'd be nice to add a picture. This is activity number 3, stained glass votives. We thought another gift your child could make is a stained glass votive using a glass jar, tissue paper, and a glue stick. Now, please be careful with this activity as the jar is glass and it will break. So to create this effect of a stained glass, we use our glue stick to create sticky spots on the jar. Choose some tissue paper and then put it on those sticky spots on the glass and continue in this way until the glass is actually covered. To ensure that the paper stays stuck, you want to put a layer of glue on top of the tissue paper after you're finished. To try it out the light, we've included a battery operated candle that can be turned on and off with a switch at the bottom of the candle. Put the candle inside the jar and see the beautiful colors cast upon the walls by the light. Delightful. Activity number 8. Making wrapping paper is actually so easy and fun. I make wrapping paper each year using grocery bags. I cut the brown paper bags and lay them out and then print on them. We have provided some long pieces of paper, more than enough to wrap the present that the child has made. The child can change it from a plain white piece of paper to a fabulous handmade creation by actually coloring on them, or like this one, they can print on them using sponges. And on this one, they did the same, making a star out of a sponge. Or they can use regular crayons or markers to just simply color on the paper. Or they could use a cookie cutter dipped in paint to create a pattern. Or use bubble wrap in a repeating pattern. Or use it where you color directly on the bubble wrap and then push the paper on it like you're printing a book. I'm sure whatever you do, it will be delightful, and we can't wait to see the beautiful paper that they've made. Activity number 9, making hot chocolate. Yum, yum. Hot chocolate actually sounds so good when it's a little cold in the morning, and you can make it by either microwaving warm water or milk, or I just use heated water directly for the tap for me. I put the mix in my mug and then I run the hot water from the tap and add it to my mug and mix. I stir and stir and stir until it's smooth and chocolatey. Many people add whipped cream or marshmallows or both in their hot chocolate, and I have to say it does look delicious. Drink slowly. Remember, children aren't used to drinking hot drinks, so teach them the blow and sip is a good strategy so they don't burn their tongue. Activity number 10, making sugar cookies. Making sweet treats to share with our neighbors, families, and friends was the best part of the holidays for me. I loved help making cookies, decorating them, and of course, eating them. And to get us in the swing, we thought we'd try a simple sugar cookie recipe. The tastes are simple and they're easy to make. You can ice or frost them or not, your choice. And in your bag, we have provided the dry ingredients that you will need to make the sugar cookies. But you're going to need some wet ingredients, which we have not provided, which I'll list here in the recipe. I have put an asterisk next to the ingredients that you're going to need to provide. The 3/4 cup of butter, 2 eggs, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and a half a teaspoon of salt. So here's our recipe. In a large bowl, we want to cream the butter, and the sugar. And once combined, we want to add our eggs and vanilla extract. In a separate bowl, you want to sift your flour, baking powder, and salt together. And then once it's been sifted, stir the flour into the butter, egg, and sugar mixture. Once it comes together as a dough, you want to cover it in plastic wrap and chill the dough for at least an hour. I like to actually do it overnight. The extra time actually allows the dough to be worked longer, and with kids that are doing things for the first time, we're going to need the time. So I would suggest doing it overnight. When you're ready the next day to actually begin making the cookies, before taking the dough out of the fridge, you want to preheat the oven to 400 degrees. Then take the dough from the fridge, flour the surface you're going to work on, and then roll out the dough to a quarter of an inch to a half-inch thickness. And then using a cookie cutter or a glass, cut the cookies out of the dough. Place the cookies on the ungreased cookie sheet. You can add sprinkles if you like, or fancy sugar, or if you're going to frost them, leave them empty. You want to bake the cookies in the oven for about 6 to 10 minutes until they're done, and then take them off of the cookie sheet and let them cool completely before decorating with frosting. If you have never made frosting is really easy to make. What you do is you take a third of a cup of softened butter. You add 4 1/2 cups of powdered sugar, very, very fluffy and nice, comes in a box, a quarter cup of milk, and then a half teaspoon of vanilla extract. You add milk until you get the consistency of the frosting that you want. Some people like it thick, some people like it runny like a glaze. And then you spread the frosting on the cookies with a butter knife after the cookies are completely cooled. Oh, it makes my mouth water thinking about it. How yummy will that be? Well, activity 11, fishing for candy canes. This is a fun game that the whole family can play. Another really simple game. You want to use a candy cane to fish the others out of a cup or a bucket. And for more of a challenge, you can do it off the floor by holding the candy cane with your mouth. How fun is that? And then when they're done playing, you still have a little treat to eat. Well, we hope you and yours have a great Christmas. Our next video will be introduced to after Christmas, and we'll be getting ready for New Year's Eve. Merry Christmas.